All right, the court is calling cause number 2014 DCM 6980. This is a hearing on a motion filed by the Attorney General's office. It started out as a non-agreed child support review order with a modification. And at the request of Mr. Salas, he requested a hearing on this case. He was not in agreement with the proposed order. The parties in this case are Mr. Raul Salas, who's being represented by Jeff Brago, attorney at law, and Ms. Melanie Hernandez, who is present before me on the Zoom application. Also present representing the Attorney General's office is Ms. Lindsay Kaplan. We're all present before me on this Zoom application. The reason that we're on the Zoom application is because of the pandemic crisis that is going on. Courts have allowed us to conduct hearings through the Zoom application, and we cannot appear in court. I am recording the evidence on this case on the computer-generated system. My name is Antonio Rodriguez. I am the associate judge for the Title 40 court here in El Paso, Texas. I believe there's an announcement to be made in this case. I instruct the parties that you are present in court, so I expect everybody to conduct themselves accordingly. Sometimes, since we're recording this and we're appearing on computers and everything, sometimes there may be a situation where parties cannot be heard, or sometimes people will actually cut off. And for no reason, on my part, they have to come back and sign back into the live session. So with that being said, I understand Ms. Kaplan, Mr. Rago, there's an agreement on this matter. Ms. Kaplan?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe there's an agreement in this case, and I would like to recite the agreement on the record at this time. The parties agree by trial amendment to add visitation for over 100 miles to this order, and for the child support amount to reflect the cost incurred by Mr. Salas for exercising visitation from El Paso to Houston. The parties further agree to a new child support amount of $767 beginning November 1st, 2020, and a new medical support amount of $158 also beginning November 1st, 2020, and that the order should reflect these new amounts and give credit for another child that Mr. Salas is court ordered to support. That is the agreement of the parties at this time. And if I may question the parties briefly about that.
All right, hold on a second. Let me, Mr. Rago, is this your client's understanding of this agreement as stated by the Attorney General?
It is, Your Honor. We added in the visitation and reduced the amount on medical. That's correct.
Okay. All right. Well, let me go ahead and bring in the parties and have them raise their right hand so I can swear you all in. Mr. Salas, I can't see you, so I am assuming that you are raising your right hand, sir.
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you and each of you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this cause is the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mr. Salas?
Yes,
Mr.
I do.
Hernandez?
Yes, I do.
All right. Both parties have answered in the affirmative. All right, Ms. Kaplan, go ahead and wish to inquire of the parties.
The state calls Mr. Salas as a witness.
Okay, go ahead.
Sir, what is your name?
Raul Salas, Jr.
And you heard the agreement recited on the record, correct?
Correct.
And is this your agreement?
Yes.
And are you freely and voluntarily agreeing to this agreement?
That is correct.
And you are going to pay all costs associated with visiting your child in this case, correct?
Correct.
And would you be in agreement with those visitation exchanges occurring at the airport?
Right. If she takes my daughter to the airport, yes, I will wait for my daughter at Houston's airport.
Okay,
Is that what you're asking?
yes.
Yes.
And you agree to the modified child support and medical support amounts as well?
Correct.
And no one threatened or coerced you to make this agreement?
No.
No further questions for this witness.
Mr. Rago?
No questions to this witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Kaplan, any other testimony?
Yes, the state calls Ms. Hernandez.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Hernandez, you heard the agreement recited on the record.
Yes.
And what is your name?
Melanie Hernandez?
And you're the mother of the child in this suit, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you freely and voluntarily agree to this agreement?
Yes, I do.
And no one threatened or coerced you in any way?
No, ma'am.
And you agree to add the visitation and for the visitation exchanges to be at the airport, correct?
Correct.
And you agree to the modified child support amount of $767, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And the medical support amount of $158, correct?
Yes.
And those obligations to start November 1st, 2020, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Rago?
Just very briefly, Mr. Hernandez, you understand that we're adding in the over 100-mile visitation, which is standard under the standard possession order, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no further questions.
All right. All right, Ms. Kaplan, anything else, any other testimony or evidence?
Yes, permission to question the parties regarding order submission.
All right, go ahead.
Ms. Hernandez, would you like an opportunity to sign off on the order prior to its submission to the court? Or are you okay with me presenting the order without you having had an opportunity to review and sign it first?
I'm okay with it. You can go ahead and present it.
And Mr. Salas, would you like an opportunity to review and sign off on the order prior to its submission to the court?
No.
And Mr. Salas, for your information, I'll get to see it also, so.
Okay.
Mr. Raga, would you like an opportunity to review and sign off prior to the order being submitted to the court, sir?
Yes, please, Lindsay, for form.
The state requests an entry of judgment.
I normally set an entry of judgment like in a week after the hearing, so and I usually set them on a Friday. So next Friday, not this coming Friday, but next Friday would be the entry of judgment. What we're talking about for the benefit of the parties is that attorneys will prepare the order, send it to Mr. Rago and Mr. Salas. I believe he wanted to review it. Or I'll let you all figure it out, Mr. Rago. You need to have Mr. Salas sign off on it. And then that order will be presented once it's approved by the parties or the attorneys. They will present the order to me so I can sign it, and the order would then be filed with the clerk's office. Mr. Salas, you'll receive your copy through your attorney. Mr. Hernandez, you will receive your copy directly from the Attorney General's office once it is signed and filed with the clerk's office. That's just a procedural thing that we need to figure out. Ms. Kaplan, anything else that you wish to address?
Nothing further from the state at this time, Your Honor.
Mr. Rago?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right. All right, well, the court, having heard the parties stipulate on the record with regard to this agreement, including the trial amendment for the visitation over 100 miles, and the new modification or the modification of the transport and the medical support, the court will approve that agreement, and that will be the order of the court. I do appreciate you all working this matter out. As indicated, the order will then be processed, and once it's finalized, then you all will receive your copies. I do appreciate you all being here, working this matter out. And if there's nothing else, that concludes our hearing. Parties are excused. Thank you all very much. Be careful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you.